What's up, guys? Tastos is back here at the GSL Code S. This match is going to be sick.
Yes, it
TVZ,
is.
Maru versus Soulkey, I think so. The
Maru
only
versus
Terran
Soulkey
left
is amazing.
against the best Zerg in the world.
Both champions, both two of the best, most respected players. Everyone respects both these players from every single race. It's rare that you get players like that. But here they are. They're playing a best of 5 for the round of 4. Very important matchup. It's going to be great, Tasteless.
Terran has been buffed a little bit since the last season of Code S. So there's a chance that Maru could pull through here. He's been playing very, very well.
Yeah.
He's your classic example of a very young pro gamer who's just, despite his, I guess you could say, lack of experience in lifelong term, he's like, what, just now 17? Correct?
He's really young.
He's really young. I mean, he's been playing RTS games for as long as you possibly could at such a young age. He's just got such a wealth of
pure
knowledge.
talent.
When you get somebody who's this young, by the way, I mean, they got a long career ahead of them.
Oh, certainly. And many championships in his path, most likely. But recently now, Maru has been playing pretty cheesily. And like last night, he did play against Effort in Pro League. And
he's been cheesing, but he's been making it work.
Yes, he certainly has.
He's doing an MVP from Wings Liberty cheese.
Yeah, he's saying, oh, is Terran underpowered right now? I'll just cheese all these games. But last night, like, I really didn't like his play against Effort. Now, Effort's playing God mode recently. He's playing really fantastically. And I think he was probably holding back something that he wants to use against Soulkey. I don't think that was necessarily his best strat or anything, and I think he didn't even play it that well last night, which makes me a little bit nervous about today for him. I am leaning with Soulkey for this match.
I am too. I think it's going to be 3-2 Soulkey, although I want Maru to win.
Yeah.
That's a much cooler narrative.
I really want Maru to win.
It's a lot more fun. We have this, this one Terran warrior slowly moving through, despite, statistically all odds against him as far as stats go for his race. It's cool to see, but, I mean, Soulkey is that perfect balance of Zerg.
Yeah, he does everything.
Great control, but he's very good at always staying ahead. He's got perfect drone count. He knows exactly when to get these expansions, exactly when to do these timing attacks. He's one of the safer Zergs around, which also makes him very scary. Usually the scariest Zergs are the safest ones, the ones that really don't take any risks, because why would they? Because if they get into the late game and they have that edge, they always know how to eke out. They take it.
This is exactly the Zerg. If you are a Zerg player and you want to study a pro gamer and emulate him, this is who you need to study as far as Zerg players go.
On to the interview here with Maru and Soulkey to see what their thoughts are going into this match. Maybe get some trash talk. We'll have to see. So one of these two players about to face off against Classic, Maru and Soulkey, here with us now. Hello, 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 all around. Hi. Not you, Artosis. So Soulkey, you've already defeated one huge Terran player, Innovation. And you already said sorry to Maru in advance. Tell us about that. I know there's only 2 Terrans in Code S, and I already took out one. I actually feel pretty bad because I'm going to have to kill another Terran here tonight.
테란 유저분들에게 공국의 적이 됐겠지만 그래도 승부는 내야겠다 말씀하셨습니다. 조성주 선수, 지금 김민철 선수의 자신감이나 기세 어떤지 궁금한데요. 조성주 선수도 자신 있어요.
Maru, your opponent Soulkey, he seems pretty confident. How do you feel?
걱정이 많은데 이겨야 될 것 같아요.
네, 꼭 이겨야겠다.
Yeah.
컨디션은
It's a little bit awkward to meet him here, but I have to defeat him now.
네, 컨디션을 계속
Did you drink hot six before this? He says, yep. I had a sip, he says.
컨디션이 괜찮다면 이길 수 있을 것 같다 말씀을 하셨습니다. 김민철 선수가 하는 그 기조 경기를 봤다고 아까 말씀을
So he's saying if you're already in good condition today, you're going to defeat him today.
1등으로 가실 줄 알았는데 지셨더라고요.
왜 2등으로 올라오셨을까 그런 생각하셨어요?
I thought he was going to take the first spot in the round of 16, but he went to the deciding match, the 5th best of 3, and had a tough game.
네, 그렇다면
So it gave me some comfort.
포기해라고.
What have your teammates said to you? And he says give up on the round 4. What about you, Soulkey? What have your teammates been telling you?
성주랑 만나기 싫었던 게
마지막 남은 테란이라서 좀
In the round of 16, I want to take the first spot, but it didn't quite work out that way.
그 아래쪽이 4저그더라고요. 그래서 절대 결승전에서는 저그 대 저그전을 안 만들려고 했는데 그렇게 될 수도 있는 것 같아서 제가 좀
Actually, I did not want
이 판을 좀 망치는 것 같습니다.
to make it a ZVZ finals,
걱정해 주시고 감사합니다.
but it seems like I've ruined everything. Sorry,
자,
guys.
그런데 변수가 하나 있습니다. 지금 유언 코치께서 전 김민철 선수의 코치셨잖아요. 오늘 조언 많이 듣고 오셨나요?
Is there anything different tonight? Because your new coach for your team is Soulkey, is a previous coach.
그렇다면 어떤 경기가 있을까요? 자, 지금 선수분들에게 많은 기대를 걸고 있습니다. 서로에게 한마디씩 승부를 좀
So there are a
해주세요.
lot of fans that are expecting to see great performance from you tonight. Do you have anything to say to them?
그냥 재밌게 하다
I don't have much to say, guys.
하다가 가셨으면 좋겠습니다.
Just I'm going to try to play some good games.
저렇게
And for you, Soulkey?
좀 저도 할 말이 없어지는 것 같아서 도발하기도 좀 그렇고
Maru seems so not confident tonight.
팬분들
So I'm just going to be quiet and keep my mouth shut as well.
김민철 선수
Let's just play some nice games. Let's play some good games for the people watching at home.
그러셨거든요. 네, 긴장 늦추시지 않으셨으면 좋겠습니다. 자,
Yeah, but she's saying this is what Maru always does in interviews, though. He's always coming confident. He says, "Don't fall into that trap, Soulkey."
하지만 그래도 제가
And he says, I know he's last up at Terran, but my goal is to be taking the GSL Code S first place title. So enjoy the game tonight, guys. I'm going to beat him.
테란이 저 혼자일 뿐인 만큼 더 열심히 해서 높이 올라가도록 하겠습니다.
Guys, I know I'm the only Terran left in this season, so I'm going to do my best to take it for the Terran race to the finals.
두 선수들에 대해서 확인해 보겠습니다.
Well, that does it. We're going to send each player to their booth, and their equipment's already plugged in, so we're going to be starting this very quickly.
Indeed, you can see that these guys had some really strong opponents on the way. Myungsik, DRG, Dark, and Stork for Maru, and then Soulkey taking out Younghwa, SOS. And Shine and Innovation only losing to Zest. Really, really hard paths for both, as you would expect. And whoever wins this, their path has been even harder because their own names get added to it.
Wow.
Wow.
God, I would love to see Maru push through here to the round of 4.
Me as well.
I think if he goes through the round of 4, he's got a very good chance against Classic.
Yeah, I think that will be a great match.
Absolutely,
I really
it will be.
So that's what I'm really hoping for. But I guess we'll see on that.
Both players 7-3 against the opposing race. Maru 7-3 against Zerg, yeah. Soulkey 7-3 against Terran in their last 10 games.
Yeah, and that's all WCS games.
Yep.
That is not including Pro League, where both of them do well. Again, Maru last night having kind of a rough match, but you know, with this match coming up today, I think this one's a bit more important than a single Pro League game on merry-go-round. So yeah. I definitely don't think that we're going to see Maru play quite like we saw him last night against Soulkey.
Guys, due to it being the round of 8, it is going to be best of 5s. They do know all the maps ahead of time, which means there's actually a lot more specific preparation that they can take advantage of. Here, going into this.
I'm pretty excited about this, Tasteless. I think that this is just like the match.
This
could be the match of the tournament. Like, we might get an insane finals still. By the way, possible semifinals on the other side would be Sue versus Zest. How crazy is that?
That'd be so good.
I really hope that other side of the bracket is Sue versus Zest. And then, like, whatever finals we get could be quite good. In fact, there could be 3 SKT1 players in that ridiculous round of 4.
I mean, it's not a shocker when you look at how good SKT has been historically all the way back in StarCraft 1, early on StarCraft 1 even, into the twilight of StarCraft 1, I guess you could say. And now here that they picked up StarCraft 2, they're very, very good. So our map lineup is going to be Merry-Go-Round, Way Station, King Sejong Station, Overgrowth, and Alterzium Stronghold.
I have like infinity stuff going on in my head right now about the way that these maps can possibly play out. I'm really excited for this first game on Merry-Go-Round. I believe it was Maru against Dark, where we saw Dark just pound him on this map. Like, he always had the extra base up in time before Maru killed one of his bases. It had the most ridiculous creep spread. It was just like some of the best macro Zerg that we've ever seen. And I wonder if Soulkey can pull that on this map, because it can be hard to hold on to your 4th here, especially against Maru, who is one of the best aggressive Terrans that there is in the world.
This is going to be a real treat. I think it will go 3-2. Should be a very even match.
Yeah, I
do think
so.
Soulkey should take it.
It feels that way.
If I had to be a betting man here, I'd say that. But Maru, you cannot count this guy out. Long ago, I thought, back in year 1 of GSL, I thought Maru was a great player, but not a guy who was going to be the end-all of the race that he plays Terran. But here he is now.
Yeah.
It's been, 12 months of Maru playing brilliantly, and he's not going away anytime soon.
Certainly not. I think this is the first time I've rooted against Soulkey ever. Soulkey is like the guy that I'm always like, oh, I want Soulkey to win. He's such a legit macro Zerg. I always want him to win. But here it's like, you know, avoid the team kill in that round of 4, get the Terran player through. That's what I'm hoping for, Tastes. Let's see.
Maru against Soulkey is starting up. Tell your friends to tune in here, as we have 2 Titans going against each other to move on to the round of 4. Well, they'll face off, one of them will, against Classic.
Hot 6 GSL Season 2, Round 8, Maru versus Soulkey.
Okay, so we have Soulkey here in the south center, Maru in the upper right, in the northeast.
Did you say 6 versus 2? 145? Something like that?
6 versus 245.
245? That is not 245. If you think that's 245, I will never ask you what time it is unless there's a digital clock around.
Wow, well, you probably should. I hate actually using clocks that are not digital. I'm like, well, this is just not quite
well,
as
I can see
specific.
why. She's like, oh, I'm late. It's like, no, you're not late. You're early.
All right, so we have the barracks coming up here, and it looks like he's going to send that scouting SCV, unfortunately for him, in the wrong direction, which Soulkey's also done. Overlord going over here to the upper left, the only other starting location besides the 2 they're in right now. And it does also look like we're going to have the drone come down here and make the hatch.
Yeah, probably going to be a Reaper opening, as we see here from Maru.
Some Soulkey support here.
Oh,
that
wow.
is
He got that
a very cute drawing of a Zergling murdering a Marine.
You would think it's a Marine, but it looked like a Zealot to me.
Oh, I thought it was definitely a Marine.
Maybe it was. There was a Zealot in the background, at least.
Yeah, that's Classic waiting for him. So here comes the spawning pool now. Looks like we're going to have a Reaper opening here.
Yeah, and not too greedy. How quickly he's getting that.
Happy birthday, Janice. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Janice.
From Canada.
Happy
Birthday to Janice. Happy. All right.
Wow, that was just completely disjointed.
Yeah.
I feel like we don't even know each other anymore.
In case you guys are wondering, this is why we're not invited to karaoke ever in Korea. I swear to God, every time that we've been out, people are like, "Oh, sing a song," and we're like, "Well, we actually can't sing." They're like, no,
and then
it'll be fine. And then I'm like, "Okay, put on Bon Jovi. It's my life, now or never." And then it's just like 3 minutes of this most awkward, embarrassing. And then people are like, I could see they're truly disappointed, like they thought I, for some reason, would be able to sing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I told you I wasn't able to sing.
We thought you were just being humble.
Yeah.
You weren't describing quite how bad you truly were.
No, I'm completely actually trying to save myself and the other people around me.
Yeah.
Whenever Artos is in karaoke, and I'm not even making this up, he sings Avril Lavigne.
Yeah.
Quite well.
Every now and then I do like Gloria Gaynor or Linkin Park, but mostly Avril Lavigne for sure. If I'm
drunk enough at karaoke, I would do I'm a Barbie Girl. That one you can kind of do almost shamelessly because the song itself, it's a silly song.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the Reaper Ling dance with the Queens coming out. This has been so solved at this point in time in StarCraft II. Usually nobody loses a worker.
Yeah, certainly.
Occasionally a Ling or two is lost, but it's pretty.
It's a point of excitement if you get a worker with a regular Reaper.
Even like Maru actually like kiting for a second there and like trying to get a few extra shots off on that Queen is even surprising to me because I guess he's that good, but like one misclick there and loses the Reaper and we're like, oh my god.
Well, if you lose the Reaper, it's like, what am I watching? Well, these Zerglings are going to try to run around here. You know, with just one Zergling there, I guess they're looking to maybe, I mean, one Marine there that they're looking to maybe just pick up a free, like, SCV kill, maybe a scout, that type of thing. We do have Hellions on the way, as well as a starport and a sinking gas. Will we see Banshee tech coming out?
Definitely a possibility. Not the most of the common routes. We see a lot of, oh, hold on. We got, oh my, okay. For a second, I was like, is that Ling going to get up there? But it looks like in this case, that's going to be it. Now the Reapers and the Hellions pair up and move out.
And should be seeing some, there it is, Tech Lab coming down. So he will be going into Banshee Tech, it does look like here. And I wonder, will he go right into an armory from here as well? We've been seeing a lot of Hellbats mixed in lately, but...
Well, since the Hellbats have been altered here by Blizzard, I think not a bad idea. Now the Roachwarren...
well, that's a nice counter now.
Yeah.
We see that happening a lot again now that Hellbat play is back, because if they do go Hellbats and you're trying to hold it with just Lings and Queens, you're generally going to be in for a very tough time. But if you do get that Roachwarren, you have the potential to not only hold it, but sometimes crush it and even kill them with a counterattack if they overcommit. So, very smart moves here from Soulkey.
So, for the time being with the Reaper and the two Hellions, he can keep his opponent out. And I also like the way he's split this up, so he has some Hellions back here to get these Lings that are obviously very interested in trying to do any scouting or even denying, you know, of the third. If that were to come. Now we have a dozen Roaches in a Baneling's nest, Artosis.
It's a lot of Roaches.
This looks to be
out.
a counter-offensive here.
It definitely could be, especially if he kills a bunch of these units as they come down for this harassment. Now we do have Cloak on the way, and crazy things can happen here. In fact, there was a game last night with Shine against Flash that turned into Banshees trying to kill off Roach Baneling before it killed him, and it was a crazy one. We could see something very similar to that taking place here as well.
Now, notice he showed 3 Roaches, but he's hiding the rest.
Looks like he's sending just 5.
Catch them to when they're going to come around. No, he's
This is where you
now.
bring them back now. When you see that many Hellbats, you've got to bring them back.
Yeah, for real. Roaches coming up now, and nice sniping here on the Hellbats in the front while trying to minimize the amount of damage the Marines are actually doing as they try to catch up here. And these Roaches are just wrecking this ground army, but the Banshee presence does change a lot. I mean, this is a lot of damage as Banshee can chase these units all the way back home.
Banshee is making this a lot harder on him. It can deal a lot of damage there, but with this speed upgrade, he's able to kill a lot of these Marines off, and without the Marines there, just Hellions, even just Hellbats, aren't going to do as well against Roaches as you would hope.
He needs to get these Lings somewhere where they can be turned into Banelings. Without making it too obvious, although it's very possible Maru is more than privy to what's going on since he is the best Terran in the world. Now the armory is upgrading, but let's see if that even pans out as there's no bunker here. There's just Hellions right now and Marines. Obviously Hellbats aren't going to be useful when there's a wall in like this. So I think actually Soulkey might be able to take this here. I mean, this is a lot of Banelings. Yes, the Banshee's targeting them down, actually one-shotting them as you can see here. You know what? I spoke too soon.
Yeah, this is too
many
Banshees.
With the double Banshees, that's just too much.
Yeah, the Banshees, he did a great job targeting down those Banelings, and it looks like he should have enough to hold on to everything here. In the meantime, Soulkey, you know, he should be switching back into drones. We don't actually see the production tab. Okay, there you go. He has switched back into drones during this attack.
Yep.
But Maru's doing a mech follow-up. He hasn't really gotten his economy hurt. Sure, his attack didn't do too much, but...
the thing about the mech follow-up, too, is it's not something where you can counter-attack with at this phase of the game, you know?
You'd have to play a... Yeah, it takes a while to counterattack with a mech force.
You can't. When you counterattack with mech, it means you're like in late game.
But you know what? If he goes for like the style of mech that Byung likes, where it's a very aggressive mech based on Hellbats and Thors mostly, something like that he can move out a lot quicker with. You know, at a much lower supply than normal mech play, and that might be the best way to go about it because Soulkey's economy didn't explode right away. He's going to be a little bit lighter on units. But we'll see on that.
Okay, so the Banshees are going to come up here, and you got to do something with these Banshees, right? You have them out here. Zerg's trying to play a little bit of catch-up after losing all those Roaches and Banelings and not really denting that expansion at all. I mean, we took out a depot and a few Marines and whatnot, but that's certainly not enough. Of course, the Zerg is going to be able to hold those Banshees off fairly easily, and here comes actually a counterattack a little bit sooner than I thought was going to happen, and it might be a little bit sooner than Soulkey thought was going to happen.
Yeah, this is actually going to be really rough with these Banshees to help pick off Banelings especially.
Yeah. Smart move to keep making the Banshees, by the way.
Yeah.
He didn't just stick with 2. I thought that's what he might be doing, but he actually went up to 4, and this is like a really high damage output. The Queens are going to have a very hard time dealing with this, and what's cool about this attack is it actually cuts the 2nd and the 3rd off from each other. So, even though, for instance, for the time being, right, like he's taken out the Terran ground army, this is 5 Banshees, man. I mean,
it is. That's so scary.
Pretty formidable.
You just right-click these Queens, they die so quickly to this. But he does have that Spire done. He should be making Mutalisks right now, and that could mess up everything that Maru's worked towards.
Okay, now he's moving the Spore Crawler. You know, what's so funny is when you see how much damage this many Banshees actually do. They might actually, they're going to kill this hatch before the Queen gets out.
Crazy.
Bam.
7 mutas just popped out as well.
And keep in mind that this is Maru on 3 bases now. And I'm sure the 3rd, we haven't gotten a shot of it, but I'm sure it's well defended. Now look at this. This is so beautiful. The arcing out of the Banshees.
He just wants to save any amount that he can. His Thors are coming up to meet him. Looks like he'll save 3 of them. Even kill a Muta on the way out. And here is a 2-base Soulkey against a 3-base Maru, where Maru has Thors out against a light number of Mutalisks.
And on top of that, Artosis, it's a meching Terran with a 3rd base, actually in very close proximity to the Zerg's soon-to-be remade 3rd base. So this is a very easy win here for Maru unless there's some kind of massive blunder. I mean, Soulkey's got the right idea from here. Try to buy time.
Yeah.
Try to get the Terran to defend, but Maru's not going to bite the bait. Maru's going to...
it doesn't even matter if he's mining from there.
Yeah,
it does not matter right now.
Yeah.
His army is so good, it's hard to imagine this being held off.
No, I don't think he can.
A lot of money's been put into those Mutas, and those Mutas do basically 0 against the 3 Thors that are already out in the field.
Well, a scan comes up here. And, you know, this is not a scary Zerg army. I mean, it's a good amount of roaches, but the Thors here in the back, they're going to be very tough to deal with. Now 2 Cloaked Banshees here in the front that are not being dealt with whatsoever.
So much damage output from those Thors and those Banshees, and enough tanking from the Hellbats and Marines. This is a very difficult attack to hold.
There's 9 more roaches being made here.
Yeah,
and you know what I gotta say? Yeah, I think he might just barely hold this. Let's see here, though.
They're kind of incrementing out and dying too quickly. He needed everything to really hit at once there.
It's possible Maru might want to bring some S. Now, okay, it's just over.
Yeah. Well done by Maru, taking that first game.
Just against the roaches and the Queens, how much damage Banshees and Thors can do.
Yeah, the Banshees were completely key because he was able to nail that counterattack that came at him.
Yeah.
Because Soulkey smashed the attack. If Soulkey had chosen to not do the counterattack with all those Lings and Banelings, if he had instead just kind of droned up a little bit more and gone for more economy-based play, he would have actually been in a better spot. But Maru was able to kill like kind of too many of those units and move back out with another counterattack.
Yeah.
So that was just like, that was really good play by Maru and just a little bit of over-aggression from Soulkey there at the end.
From here, I'm wondering what exactly is Soulkey going to play with. I like the idea of the strategy from Soulkey, but you can see if Maru does a build, which, you know, I was saying we don't always see players go for, you know, the Banshee follow-up all the time. It's not uncommon, but it's not like a default thing like some other things are in StarCraft II. But the fact that he just keeps making Banshees because when he sees the roaches, he goes, oh, okay, well, you just don't have... Your muted tech is going to be later. With this many Banshees out, your Queens are not that strong.
Yeah.
My mech army can still be pumped out pretty efficiently. Oh, that was a quick counterattack there.
Yeah.
From Maru. I didn't think it was going to come out that fast, but it did. And the reason why I didn't think it was going to come out that fast is I didn't think the ground army would be able to cover it, but that was not even the whole point of it. It was to get the Banshees out there. It started to snowball there. Once he got that hatch there, if he had not gotten the hatchery, it might have been a different game. But killing off that hatchery is huge.
Yeah, that was the MVP moment, is when those Banshees microed around and killed that hatch at the end of the battle.
All right, we're going to go on to game number 2 now. Maru with a 1-0 lead against Soulkey, the best Zerg in the world.